Hi, everyone. Welcome to Kitty Lit Market. This is Diane Davies, and I have with me today a very special guest again. Her name is Chelsea Fadden, and she joins us from Beavers Pond Press, the same as the press where I've published my books from as well. Chelsea has three, can you believe this? 3 small children under the age of 6. Do you think Chelsea's a busy lady? Chelsea, yeah. Chelsea, she likes to practice patience at home, I guess. Chelsea has her Bachelor of Arts in Arts and Communication from Iowa State. And she's here today to talk with us about herself, first of all, and her children's book that happens to be a perfect fit for Mother's Day coming up just around the corner. So, Chelsea, I'm going to let you start and let you tell us about yourself. Help us to get to know you as a person.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Diane, for having me. It's great to be on, and it's great to meet you through Beavers Pond. I feel like the community of independent authors is so awesome to support each other. So thank you again. I'm Chelsea. I am, like Diane said, I am a mom to 3 kids. My husband, Vince, and I live in Maple Grove. Our 3 kiddos, Evelyn is 6. Zeke is 2, and Zeke is 4, and Henry is 2. I have too many. I can't even remember how old they are. We live in Maple Grove. We're on about an acre, so we have some space. And but we're still close to the local Target and all the local restaurants, and so we like being in this spot. I grew up in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And so that's about 5 hours south of here, and met my husband at Iowa State University, where I went to college. And that's how I got up to Minnesota. He's from Minnesota originally. So I've been here about 12 years now. So almost as long as I lived in Iowa. So I kind of feel like a Minnesotan now. I like it here.
We will keep you.
Okay, good. I love it here. And I think another thing about me is just my faith, I think, is important, especially in the past year with COVID, and we had my son, Zeke, was diagnosed with epilepsy. So that was a big thing we went through. And so it was just kind of a crappy year all around. But the Lord's been so good, and I've just really relied on Jesus for my strength, and he just keeps me humble through all of this book stuff too. It's just good to have him as a source of truth and strength for me. So that's a little about me. I don't know what else you want to know. Ask me anything. I'll share.
Okay. Tell us when your writing career actually began.
Sure. So I actually worked in college. I had an internship at the Iowa State University Foundation. So it's the nonprofit that raises money for the college. And so I did a lot of writing, kind of persuasive writing to donors to try to, hey, we have this great thing going on. Come give a little bit more money to the university. Check it out. So that was really interesting writing kind of experience. And then I moved on, and I actually, with my journalism degree, some people go the newspaper route, some people go the magazine route, some people go to advertising, and I decided to do public relations with that. So I worked at an agency up here, Carmichael Lynch Fong was the PR arm of that, and did a lot of communications and PR for the agency itself. So that was kind of a cool role, promoting the work that we were doing. And from there, I worked at another agency where I had a huge agricultural client that, I was writing about pesticides, and I learned about termites, and I learned about bed bugs. It was the bed bug craze when we remember the bed bugs that were a huge deal. So it was all that time, and I'm just writing about crops and yields and just things that I had never. People are like, "Oh, you're from Iowa. That should come natural." No, I grew up in the city, so. But it's interesting when you have those writing chops and those skills, you can use them for any different kind of writing, and you just learn your topic and learn your audience. So that was a good experience. And then I moved on to Target corporation and actually did a lot, kind of more community relations type work. So Target has a lot of public safety partners like fire, police, EMT, emergency managers, and they do different events in the community with those people. And so my job was helping to coordinate things like National Night Out for Target, helping to do Shop with a Cop, which is a program that cops shop with kids in the stores around the holidays, kids that are in lower income neighborhoods. So amazing, like just being able to plug into with those partners, build those relationships. Still a lot of writing, a lot of communications, right? But being able to use that writing through that. And then finally, before I became a stay-at-home mom, I was a consultant. So I consulted with a lot of companies who are going through major change. So companies that have big technology change, right? They're switching from one system to another. Companies that had a payroll change. They're switching how they're paying their people. These are big changes that people don't like. I mean, people don't like change anyway.
Right.
But to be able to try to communicate to them and train them on what was coming, that, again, writing skills needed for that, communication needed.
Right.
So that was interesting. And that's when, to kind of tie this up, wrap this question up, I decided, hey, I'm gonna write for myself. I'm gonna do something for me, because not that the work that I was doing wasn't fulfilling, but it was like, I want to write a book. And I've always talked about, even as a kid, I was like, Mom, I'm going to write a book someday, a kid's book. And she goes, okay, well, sure. Like never one to squash my dreams. And so that's when I kind of got the itch and the bug to write my first book. Wonderful. That was a long answer. And then I decided to stay home. And now I'm home with 3 small children, and it's totally different, but I'm enjoying it.
Now you're reading books all the time.
Well,
right?
I'm reading. Oh, absolutely. Yep. Trying to instill that love of reading, for sure.
That's wonderful. And my next question is about your motivation. Why did you want to write that kids' book? What moved you to do that?
Like I said, it was always kind of this like bucket list dream of mine to, I like to write. I love to read. Why don't I just write my own kids' book? I'm reading a lot of kids' books, and I enjoy the books I read to my kids, but I have some of my own stories to tell, So that was really, I think the motivation was just a personal like desire to use my skills, to maybe share a little bit of, my experience as a mom and with kids, and push something out into the world that other kids and families could enjoy.
Wonderful. That's great motivation. Entertainment, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, entertainment.
And I just needed one more thing to do, because I was working full time and I had 2 kids at the time. Like, let's just add something else.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Right.
What the heck? Well, why don't you tell us about your book?
Sure. So my book is Go Away Mama, and it's, like you said, it's perfect for Mother's Day. And I always preface it with, it's not like a bad book, as far as like, you can go away mama, and it's like, is this going to be something that I want to read my child? It's kind of in the vein of I Love You Forever, and the fact that the mom and the daughter, it talks about their relationship as the daughter goes through different milestones in her life, and how, regardless of the daughter wanting to push her mom away or be grouchy or not want to talk to her, the mom is always there, and she's always willing to listen and kind of wait for the daughter to come around. And it kind of is a circular story, and at the end, that you see this kind of, the daughter has a daughter of her own. And so it kind of comes around, and she realizes just how strong that love is between a mom and a daughter, and really between a parent and a child. It's just amazing. So yeah, I wrote it about, it's actually based on my daughter, Evelyn, who, when she was 2, would tell me to go away. She'd get mad and she'd say, go away, mama. And just, it kind of hurt. It was like, no, I'm not going away. And I remember saying to her, like, I'm not going away. You can't push me away no matter what you do. So that's kind of reflected in the book too. A lot of the, every other page is, my darling girl, I will not go away no matter what. I'm here to stay. You can't do anything to push me away, even if you try. And I think it's a book for kids, but it's also a book for parents. I mean, I think so many parents are, and really anyone, I say like 4 to 99, because everyone has a mom, right?
Right.
Whether
right.
or not, everyone has a dad. So so yeah, it's a book for parents too, of like, it's hard. Parenting is hard. Diane, I mean, it's just not, every kid is different, and
Absolutely.
something that worked for one doesn't work for the next one. So you have to get creative. And I just think there needs to be more resources and books and things for parents too. Like that,
Yes.
this isn't easy. And
absolutely. Absolutely.
So that was one of my motivations too.
Do you want to show us a few of the pictures in your book?
Sure. I'd love to. Yeah. So my illustrator, Eleanor Sebastian, she works with Beaver's Pond, and she's actually done a couple other books recently. Sorry, I lit that. But her talent, she's so talented. She does everything with watercolor. So she literally will paint every scene, draw it, paint it. And so everything you see, every color or tint is just her doing watercolor painting. And it's incredible. Like I should have asked her to like paint me, or, asked to keep one of the sketches, because I should have framed them. They're just, you see the teenage room, how dirty that messy that is.
Yeah, I have a granddaughter that's a teenager now. I know.
You know how that is. Yeah. So there's just, she did a really great job. And then there's even, at the end, there's that final, the mom and then baby just snuggled.
Oh, sweet.
So
sweet. Very nice job. Before we get into where you can buy your book and all that stuff, I just have one other question I'd like to ask you. I know you probably don't have time to make a lot of school visits, do you?
Not, and with COVID now, I can't even go into my daughter's school. So last year I did a couple, and I was planning on doing a couple more, and then March hit, and it was like everything shut down. So
and I need
to, and I need to explore doing the online piece too. I think there's just been so much online this year too. It's like, now that kids are in school again, they probably want to actually be in school, versus doing some online stuff. Yeah. But I hope to explore that a little bit more.
Well, one of the questions that I always get asked back when I was making school visits, which I plan to do again real soon as well, how do I become an author? Here's this little third grader looking up at me and saying, how can I be an author? How did you get
to read as much as you can? Because that's how you learn. Like that's the foundation. In school, when you're like my daughter is a first grader, and kindergarten is all about learning our letters, learning to read. Once we can read, then we write. And this year it's been all about writing for her. And it's hard for me because I'm sitting there like, oh, you should love writing. And she's like, oh, I hate writing. Like I have to write all these sentences. And it's just, it's hard. But once you get, everything is a step to something else. So I feel like starting with the foundation of reading and having parents instill that and teachers instilling that love of reading in kids, that's how you learn words and how words fit together and ideas and just different things. So, I'd say start reading and absorbing everything you can, nonfiction, fiction, different genres that you wouldn't think, oh, I don't know if I'd like this. Check it out. And then write. It takes so many drafts to get to that final piece. And even sometimes when you have your final draft, you're thinking, oh, I could have done that better. So it's never finished. It's a constant journey, I think. But that would be my piece.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Many times, the children will ask that kind of a question at a school setting, and I always tell them very similar to what you just said too. And I tell them to write, just, have a notebook, carry it with you and write and write and write. And they look at me like, really? That's going to work?
Right. Because they want to know the specifics of how, but once I write it, how does it work then? And I'm like, well, that's a whole other ball game. Right. Just write it down first.
That's called publishing.
Yes. That's another beast we can tackle in another video.
Well, Chelsea, it's really been fun visiting with you today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about where we can find your book and how we can find it?
Absolutely. So there's a couple usual suspects. Obviously, Amazon is always available to find it. Otherwise, my website, chelseafadden.com. There's a link on there for you to look that up. And then there's a couple local places that I want to promote. So the Minnesota Play Cafe is a local indoor kids play area. And they have, she's right now selling my book along with another independent author. And then there's a store that just opened recently, I think last fall in Delano, called the Book Nook, that also has it for sale right now. So just a couple of options if people want to, if they're out and about, or if you just want to hop online, the website works too.
And your page on Kitty Lit Market, people can buy.
Yes, absolutely.
Kitty Lit Market as well.
Yes, sorry about that. Yes.
No problem. I just wanted to help you out.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Chelsea. It's been wonderful visiting with you and seeing a fresh young person. So excited about having not only a young family, but, providing for other children through your writing skills and all those kinds of things. And Kitty Lit Market just wishes you the best of luck in your future writing endeavors as well. So we look forward to another book, but, it might be a few years before that 2-year-old gets to be 8.
Yes. So we'll see. I have some ideas brewing and some notes, but nothing solid yet.
Oh, well, there will be time.
Yep.
There will be time. You're doing a very important job right now, and that takes all of your attention. So thank you so very much.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're most welcome. So that's it for today. Tune in again. We will have more authors and some more ideas along the way for all of you out there. So from Kitty Lit Market, have a good day. Enjoy the sunshine.